It's Lee from the Play Guitar Podcast, Play Guitar Academy. Just getting everything set up here for day 2 of the Guitar 30 Challenge. Very happy to be here with you today. We had a wonderful time yesterday hanging out, catching up with everybody, talking about everybody's current situations. I'm just running in here, getting everything going. So if you see me getting things together just for a few seconds, just bear with me a little bit. We got some things we're going to go over today. I'm going to talk about my practice that I went through yesterday and all the different things that I worked on. I actually did more than 30 minutes yesterday. And let's see, I'm going to ask a few of you about some ideas for some other things we can do for the live stream. And some ideas for some individual videos. And then we'll do a little check-in and see how whoever hangs out with the stream, how you're doing and what you're dealing with today. I'm going to make the screen's a little bright here. So I'm going to adjust things just for a second. Here we go. I'm going to turn the gain down just a little bit here. I think that's a little bit better. How about a little more? Very nice. Very nice. Okay. So that's got that going. Let's check out here. Let's see what we got. We've got Evan in the chat. Hey, Evan. Good to see you today. Michael's here. Hi, Michael. Hi, Jordan. Wonderful to hang out with you today. I hope everybody got a notification. I was hoping to get things taken care of earlier so that the stream would have been open a little bit earlier, but I'm rushing today. It's definitely a Monday for me today. Okay, so I'm gonna get one more thing going here. So I'm gonna check well, that's not the right one. Let's see here, what do we got? There we go. That's what I'm looking for. So let's make sure my schedule, there's the schedule. Make sure the planner's up there. And those are the 3 that I need for this stream. And some water. Oh, I want to add the chat to this. There we go. Make it a little bit bigger. And trim it a little bit there. So we've got Evan, Michael, Jordan, Marty, Dino's here. Hey, Dino. Chris is here. Awesome. Brennan's here. And Nurmart. Let me see. Mr. Mark. I think it is. Hey, good to see everybody. So let's talk about how's your practice going last night? How much time did you have to work on it? Did you is all your planning done? I did a front of the television practice session yesterday. So after yesterday, when I got done hanging out with you guys, had some dinner, and I had a Skype lesson that I taught at around 7:30. And then after that, my daughter and I watched Ratatouille, and I did the old grab the guitar, got the metronome on the phone, and hung out, watched the movie, and actually practiced for longer than 30 minutes yesterday. And I'll show you what I did. Marty did an hour. Awesome. I started with the 1, 2, 3, 4, just like everyone I have for everybody here for a week 1. And let's see here. Where did I did it at a comfortable pace, not slow though. So I'm going to get my, I've been using Soundbrenner as my metronome of choice the past couple days. Let's see here. So I just did this for about 5-10 minutes. I didn't even go into other areas of the guitar. And I do this a lot with founding members and some other students that I have. I usually just go through it one time just to kind of demonstrate it, and then that's it. Well, I'm needing this too. I could feel it. I felt it across the back of my hands, and I actually felt it in my thumb of my picking hand towards the end of it there. So this is going to be really good for me as well. So I started that. Then let's see here. And then I did on my play section, I did Mixolydian pattern 2 and 3. And I did it over the G blues chords. Now, when I was sitting watching TV, getting I would actually just hit the chord and then play over it. And so I started off just hitting the chord and then playing the Mixolydian scale over top of that, staying very inside, having a lot of inside sounds, and then hitting the next chord and then outlining that chord. And eventually I dropped the chords and I started using arpeggios to outline the chords so you could really hear it. So I would and I was also one of the folks on the stream yesterday said they were going to start working on mixing major and minor pentatonics, and it got me thinking about the major third, minor third to major third as the first step, and so I was throwing a lot of that in. So this is helping me a lot. It's kind of picking my direction. So I did a lot of that, and then for my final, let's see here. For my practice, I was working on If You Love Me Like You Say, which is one of my favorite blues tunes. I played in C. So there's a horn line. And I was soloing over it a little bit without a background track, using my ear, remembering what the chord sounded like. I was working on that horn line a little bit more, getting a little outlining. I'm doing really double stops to outline the horn line, and sometimes I would add triads in there, trying to get more of each of the chords. And I was actually I usually do minor over that song, and it's kind of a fun up song. That's the blues songs that I like the most are kind of funkier songs, and songs that make people want to move around and dance, and usually stuff that's in more 4/4 than a shuffle. So So I kind of worked on those. So that was my practice last night. I kind of did it throughout. Probably drove my daughter crazy because I was playing through the whole movie. It's a good movie though. I enjoyed it. Okay, so let me go back to the chat here. Open it up a little bit so I can read and see what we got here. So we've got Marty did an hour. Michael said had to do practice in sections, but all together about 30 minutes. Great job, Michael. I said hi, and let's see here. Chris said, been off today, so got lots of playing done. Did my 30 minutes plus a couple of hours of other stuff. That's great. And so Chris says he's not a big planner, sadly, but I have some vague ideas starting off with major scales first week, then branching into modes later weeks. And Dino says, I used the 30 for 203.6 and another 30 minutes or more starting to learn nothing else matters. Great. That's awesome, Dino. That's good news. Here, I'm going to let's do this here. Problem is my screen, it's tough to see when I get it that small. So I'll just keep bringing it up there a little bit. So that's some great ideas. We've got some major scales, some modes. One thing I liked that Chris was doing in some of the videos that I saw of his is practicing his modes, practicing his scales over a drone note, which is really cool and something that I heard a long time ago. First time I saw that happening was with Joe Satriani, and he would do his modes. He would do, you know, he'd do minor pentatonic, then he'd do minor mode. I mean, natural Aeolian. Let's see what I got here. Looper. Little blues scale. Dorian. So moving back and forth, I just went through the Aeolian mode, and then the Phrygian, and then the Dorian mode, and so you can really hear the difference when you work. We'll go back on those things, and that's something I saw Chris was doing. I think it was last week or the week before that, which I really liked. So let's see here. Kevin's here. Hey, Kevin, good to see you. He said, I made it. Wisconsin issued a stay-at-home order, so work sent me home. Well, happy you're home. Very happy that you're home. And Evan said, had to run and take a work call. Hope I didn't miss. But no, all I've done so far is gone over what I worked on. What I worked on last night. Talked about that. I have a few more things that I want to talk about today. I want to get everyone's opinions on some ideas I have, and maybe ask you for some of your ideas as well. Because I really enjoyed doing the stream yesterday. I really enjoyed it, and it was I was looking forward to doing this again today. So that's a good sign. So I'm going to keep this going. I'm going to keep it rolling, and I have some ideas, even past the challenge, if everybody's interested in that. So my question for you guys is ideas for the live stream. Let's see here. Some of the ideas I have, if you remember, I don't know if how many of you listened to the podcast early on. And the first group of shows, I had some other sections. I did some guitar news, and I did a creating the band. I called it making the band, which I didn't realize at the time. I never watched that show. Um, but I had some other sections of the show, and I'm kind of thinking about the guitar news type stuff, but maybe we could go through like because I was set to go to NAMM this past year, and I had my press pass and all of those things, and then because of the family situation, I couldn't go. But I get a lot of press releases because of that, and so the the last one I got was that Gibson is shut down. Here, let me see if I can find it here. Let me see if I set email up on this computer, and it only gets a little bit. It doesn't get all my emails. So let's see here. Maybe on this phone I can find it. So let's see here. It says Gibson operations in the USA temporarily closed, and Gibson provides financial relief to all US based factory workers. So it's maintained the highest protocol and recommended hygiene practices throughout the situation, including daily leadership briefings, proactive communications, all this kind of stuff. I'll go skip down. Gibson facilities have not been in operation since Friday and will remain closed until further notice. So they've had a rough year with Gibson, and they've ruffled a lot of people's feathers. And I've noticed ever since then, and that happened around NAMM time. So I noticed ever since then, there's been an effort for them to be really reaching out and making themselves look better than with all the lawsuits and all the things that went on. So it looks like they're taking care of their workers for a few days. I think, was it Brendan who's in our group? I think he posted that he's working at Gibson doing some guitar setups or something like that. So if he is, I'm glad that they're taking care of that. So okay, let's go back to the chat. Brennan is here. He says he was able to get us 30 minutes and then practice a few songs. The plan is to continue working 202 and also focus on picking techniques with pentatonic scales. Great idea. Play authentic. Okay. So that's one of the ideas I was having, is maybe to keep going on this. We could like keep up on some guitar news, maybe talk about some new bands and those kind of things. Also with the ideas we had of doing some watching like Crossroads and guitar related movies and those things. So if you all have any ideas on that, let me know, because I'm interested in keeping this rolling even past the 30-day challenge. We'll see how it goes, but if you have any ideas for some segments you'd like to see, or some hangout type stuff, let me know. So let's see here. Chris says, yeah, Brandon was working there and said the technique is good to work on alternate picking too. Yeah, alternate picking it's one of those things that the more you stick to it, the better, but you can't always. And also, especially with Chris and Evan W., they're working on sequences a lot. So my 205 level is putting it all together. And for me, when I really felt like I could really come up with some really nice melodies and some good phrasing, it is when I really got a hold of sequences, and I was able to get away from that sounding like I'm just going up and down the scale, and adding some movement into my lead playing. And to me, that's when it all started to mesh a little bit. So, but when you're playing these sequences, and you know sequences, let's see, like right there, I'm moving, I'm switching from position 4 to position 5. Sometimes the picking gets off, sometimes the fingering, especially. You have to try to figure out, how am I going to get this sequence to work when I'm in between shifting into a different pattern. And sometimes you have to be creative with it too. So what do we got here? Joe says, hello everybody. Hey Joe, how are you doing today? Good to see you. Okay, so I went through my practice, ideas for some live streams. Also, if you have any ideas, I'm going to start. Here's what I noticed. What I noticed a long time ago, I started doing some YouTube stuff, but I really only had time to do the podcast. And a lot of these people who do multiple avenues of content, they say to take your podcast and just throw it up on YouTube. Well, that didn't really work. It's really not for the same thing. The podcast is a lot of talking about playing guitar, and for YouTube, it's much geared more for actually playing the guitar. So I put a lot of podcasts up there, and I tried different formats and ways to work, and it just never felt right. So I'm gonna do these live streams, but I'm gonna do some just regular YouTube videos. So if you have any ideas for those, please let me know in the chat. I'd be very happy to film those and get them going. So the filming is starting to happen. As you can see, I've got this switch pod right now. It's a tripod, but you can also do selfie type stuff too. So broke that out today. Going to get back into the filming of videos and editing of videos. So those two things, I was going to ask your opinions on ideas for the live stream, ideas for individual videos. And then I was just going to check in and see how everyone's doing. Let's see here. Okay, so that's the bottom of it right there. How are we doing here? We are doing okay. We've had another one extra person today in this area was diagnosed with it, but still very low for this area. We aren't going out for anything that we can help it. Every once in a while we go to the store. We actually had delivery. We had groceries delivered the other day. No orange juice. That's the new one. And still no paper products. But we were lucky last week and got some TP last week and some paper towels last week. So what else didn't they have? They're getting a handle on it. We've got something we asked for 3 or 4 things, we would get one. So that was cool for me. I'm going to figure out a better way to do this chat so that I can read it and then I don't have to keep. So let's see here. So we said hi to Joe, and then here's Chris. It says, Lee, what is it called where you do a trill with your left hand, but slide your right hand down the string with a light touch? Let's see here. That's not it. That kind of, is that what you're talking about, Chris? Where you're getting the helicopter type? That kind of thing where you get I don't have enough gain to really make it sound Good. What's it called where you do trail with the left hand, slide your right hand down the string with a light touch? I don't know. I've never heard a name for it. It's basically what you're doing is you're trilling and getting the harmonics as you do. It gives that kind of a helicopter or like a flanger type sound. Let's see. It's a neat little trick. It is. It's pretty neat. Let's see here. Evan says, like the idea of bringing people into the live stream. Not sure I could participate. Depends on whether they send me home at work. Yeah, so I'm going to use Zoom for that. And I think what I'll do, Zoom is really cool because you can invite somebody in with just a link. And so you can just send a link to an email or over a chat, something like that. So so it's easy to do off the fly. Getting it to work nice with my program, it should be pretty easy. I'm not expecting any problems with that, but I haven't done it with this program just yet. So that's something I'm going to work out. Let's see. I've got the podcast. I'm going to do a podcast tomorrow, and I'm actually going to talk about this in the podcast again. Podcast numbers are way down because of what's going on. So I like to focus on what we're doing here, the Guitar 30 Challenge. And I'd like to start talking about some of the ideas that you guys are having for chords and for scale practice, some different ideas for practicing. So I think I'm going to do that for the podcast. I'll do that tomorrow afternoon before I come on here at 4 o'clock. So Wednesday is probably going to be the day where I have a lot of time in the afternoon to work on some things, and I'll probably start trying to get that Zoom connected in with all of this right here. And what I'll do is I'll get 2 or 3 people who would love to hang out with me on the stream and get that set up ahead of time. And once I'm used to it, then we'll just do it how people can just pop in if they feel like hanging out and chatting a little bit. Okay, let's see. So Evan likes the Zoom idea. And this says, geez, Louisiana's almost 1,200 cases today. That's terrible. I think we're over 700 in Georgia today. Chris said, thought people might like it. Yeah, that's a neat thing. I've seen people. We're talking about this. Works best on the bridge pickup. I've seen people using the pick to in different ways too. I haven't really. I'm just kind of doing this on the fly. Those kind of things. I like when people do a lot of tapping with the pick too. I always thought that was pretty neat. So let's see. So Chris says he uses the fat end of the hand or the light thumb edge. Where's that? Okay, there we go. especially use some different effects on there. That's pretty cool. That one doesn't work. I like the that's a good idea. Yeah, that'd be fun, and it sounds like Jeff Beck to me a little bit. Okay. Clayton. Hi, Clayton. How you doing? Good to see you. Do you know Nothing Else Matters? I haven't played it in a long time. What am I? What teach? I'm teaching a. What was that? Been teaching some Metallica stuff lately, but I don't play it enough to remember to play it for you right now. Chris says I thought I entered another round there. But yeah, I've got this. I do mostly on my board is overdrives, and I stack overdrives to get different sounds. That's the beat and get let's see here. So a lot of what I do is just mixing overdrives together, but a lot of songs that I need when I need to have some effects and just kind of standard effects. Other than a delay, I've got a DD3 on there and a reverb. But if I needed like choruses and all of those kind of things, my pedal board started getting enormous. So I've got this Line 6, the M9, the Stompbox modeler, and I've got it set. I've got 6 different what's going on here? Sorry, excuse me for a minute, trying to get this figured out. That should be just kicking with distortion. So I've got this M9 Stompbox modeler, and I've got. See, the first one is just like a vibrato, and I've got an expression pedal on all of them. So this one is all the way down. It's kind of like a Leslie sound. I can roll it back. The next one I have is like a huge delay. And I've got it set up to the expression pedal so that I can, the farther the expression pedal goes, the more repeats it gets, but it also changes the but what's neat about it is when you can cut it off like that. So that was a neat. And it's almost like a whammy pedal, but only on the delays, not on your actual. Anyway, it's kind of some for crazy stuff. Let's see here. What else do I've got? I've got this is more of a shimmering, like like a Warren Haynes type. And I can go for more of like a chorus, maybe like a univibe type sound. The next one I have set up is just kind of an octave. And let's see here. 2 more. And this is kind of like a wah. So this one does kind of like the envelope filter type sound. Let's see. So it's kind of like a wah-wah pedal and an envelope filter mixed together. I like to just, instead of using it like a wah-wah pedal, I like to just put it in one place. And the last I have here is a synth type sound. I've got the expression pedal hooked up for that, and it's not changing a whole lot. It says it's changing the speed. Here's with it back. Here's with it's on. Anyway, those are my weird effects that I use every once in a while. I also have a regular wah-wah pedal, and like I said before, the digital delay and the RB7 stereo reverb. Okay, let me get back onto the chat. Joe says, awesome sound, Lee. Thank you. That was fun. Well, before that, let's see here. Kevin said, let me see here. So Chris says, maybe we could pick a song to listen to overnight, something that might be considered classic, and critique it another day. That'd be a good idea. So kind of pick it apart a little bit too. So Chris, critique a song overnight. Okay. Kevin said, I like that Leslie sound. Thank you. And Chris says, I have an octave, but that does that doubled sound. It's a great sound. And Josh is here. Hey, Josh, good to see you. Hope you're doing good. Joe says, awesome sound, Lee. Thanks. Hey, Josh. That's great. Hey, everybody. Um, yep. 3 o'clock in Kansas City. That's what would be. And so, Evan says, I need to spend some quality time making my multi-effects do strange things. Yeah. We got time, man. We got some time. I'm gonna go in and have some fun with those. You can do different banks in this M9, but so the deal with the Line 6 M9 is each one of the effects. It's not the greatest. It's not like you spent $300 on a delay pedal or something like that. But with the expression pedal and being able to blend in between two different settings for the same effect, and then also I can blend 3 of the effects together, and have them all recalled, and it just does really strange things, which I really like. And and when I would have just separate effects pedals for all these different things, I could never get sounds like this. And there's some whammy type sounds in there too that I like. I don't have set up right now. Dino's got a Fishman triple play I haven't messed with. I haven't. I don't really know a whole lot about the triple play. I would like to hear your opinions on that. I might check that out. What's it called? Fishman triple play. I like a lot of the stuff that Fishman's been putting out. I like those Stratocaster pickups. They're not enough to get rid of the Fraylins, but it's a good idea. Fishman triple play. And Josh says the last one is Frampton. Like, yeah, that's weird. It's a it's called an attack synth, but I got in there yeah, very different. Okay, so it's a MIDI guitar add-on. That's cool. Let's look that up. I want to check that out. So let me set that up. All right, so let's look that up right here. Add a new dimension of excitement and control to your guitar. Unlimited palette of instruments, sounds, and expressions. Triple Play Wireless and Triple Play Connect. Fastest, most accurate MIDI guitar controllers ever. Add the Triple Play Connect app or FC1 to read low expression. Build a range of drums, chord bits. You trigger loops and produce tracks on the fly. Record. Plug and play USB. So record your performance on any DAW with Triple Play Connect. World of sound and creativity, connected possibilities. So it's like a Roland. It's one of those under the strings by the bridge. That's cool. You don't have to really do much to your guitar. Slash. Jennifer Batten, Tim McCord. So it's a mobile app. Wireless mini guitar, Interplay SC1 controller. Cool. That's cool. So, does it blend like synth stuff with guitar stuff? Does it do those kind of things? It says you perform, compose, record. Yeah, I'd like to check that out. Let's see if we can find a video about this. Let's see here. Let's do a YouTube, Fishman, Triple Play. Are you guys seeing this? No. Let's see here.
Hi, I'm Mitch Gallagher. Welcome to Sweetwater's Guitars and Gear. This time out, a super cool, affordable, and really fun MIDI controller for guitar and iOS. Let's get started. Today we're checking out Triple Play Connect from Fishman. The module, which has here a lightning cable. Makes the whole thing very simple. In fact, when I attached this to the guitar, plugged the cable in, and opened up the app, I was ready to play right out of the box. I didn't have to adjust a single parameter. For a variety of the different response characteristics, but it really is as easy as plugging in,
like that.
and that's the height of the pickup. You want it as close to the strings as possible without touching the strings.
Here's some. Oh, that's cool.
A piano sound. To set the region of the fingerboard where we want the sound to be strings. To do that, we simply click here. And now we can choose, for example, to have sound 1 on the top 4 strings and sound 2 on the bottom 4 strings.
Cool, it splits.
Or different variety of parameters for shaping each of the sounds. For example, and I'm finding the Triple Play Connect works extremely well. For Sweetwater's Guitars and Gear, be sure to...
So it looks like it just does the synth stuff. It doesn't do a blending. I've seen a couple of them that do those kind of blending type things too. But Dino says, yes, you can do that. That's awesome. Yeah, I like to, to me, that's the coolest. Is when you when you can blend the synth stuff and the guitar stuff too. Thanks, man. That was awesome. Evan said, hey, man. Josh said, I've had my audio interface for like a year and have yet to explore how it works. Hopefully we'll have the time now. Yeah, I think we all got some extra time on our hands. And Dina says, wow, I haven't used it in a while. That software seems new. Yeah, maybe got an update for you. That'd be pretty cool. It looked pretty neat. That looked pretty neat. Okay, so let's see here. Make sure I got everything. It's fun hanging out with everybody today. Okay, yeah, I got everything together here. So, hi Lee, thank you for hosting this. I've listened to all your podcasts. Been playing guitar for about a year. Hey, it's good to see you. Let me open this. I want to catch your name. Morsemi, Morsemi. Very nice to meet you. Thank you for hanging out with us today. So forced chord playing has been my method. Played over 25-50 songs with Chordify. Thanks. Mike Morse. Hey, Mike. Nice to meet you, Mike. Yeah, let's see. And you're 51 years old and just starting out. Can't think of a better time to start playing guitar. Congratulations, Morsemi Mike. Thanks for hanging out with us today, man. I appreciate you being here. Forced chord playing has been my method. Playing over 20. So you're just learning tons and tons of songs and then picking up. There's a lot that you can learn just from picking apart songs. But there's also, as we talked about before, there's a lot of times where some of the songs may be using some things that require some background fundamentals, some skills that can get lost too. So I had a lot of students who try to play a lot of songs, learn a lot of songs, and collect songs, but sometimes they didn't really know why the songs worked, and then that was a stumbling point for them. So what I would usually do in situations like that is take those songs, take a few of them, pick them apart, and ask, well, why is this? Ask a couple targeted questions, and then fill in the blanks from there. That would always give me a good idea of where to start filling in the gaps. Filling in the gaps is my thing. That's the filling in, finding where the holes in the foundation are, and so a lot of times you'll get up to a certain place where you're playing these songs, but you're stuck and you can't really get any farther. And I really like to bring your skills up to those songs, and then everything starts to move forward from there. Josh says, "Welcome to the journey." It's great. It is great. It's a lot of fun. Josh says, "What went back and listened to your podcast on arpeggios yesterday after the show, and we'll get the practice in after this." Yeah, wish I could remember what I said, but it's probably the same stuff that I talk about with arpeggios all the time. Arpeggios are fun. They're a good way to get out of that thing that we all deal with sounding like we're just going up and down the patterns of the scales and not making music. And arpeggios is a really good way, just something simple like that, or like Flintstones and Woody Whoop, all those kind of cartoony type songs. Songs that you play like on a bugle. Bugles, they just play the arpeggio notes, right? So all of a sudden, just playing some arpeggios can get you more melodic right away. But at the same time, if all you play arpeggios, like those guys in the 80s that would just sweep arpeggios all the time, you start to lose the listener doing that as well. So to me, it's a good balance of playing your scales, playing arpeggios, smartly mixing the two together, and coming up with something that's more than just one or the other, combining them. Okay. It was all good stuff. Good. That's good. That's good. Yeah, there's like a 20-second delay on this today, which is just fine. Anything else? We're coming up on 5. I think I'm gonna call it in a few minutes. But I'm enjoying hanging out, and we had a lot of folks yesterday, and exactly what I thought. On the second day, not so much, but I think I'm just gonna keep doing these every day, and hopefully people will stumble across the live streams, and I'm gonna theme the live streams as well. Right now, I'm just going to showcase what we're doing. Two things. One is, as these live streams get bigger, we may need some moderators for the live stream. So if anybody would like to be a moderator, let me know. And as what was the other thing? Lost it. Just like that. And if anybody is interested in hanging out with me, so it's not just me talking all the time, which is no fun for me, but what do you think about I've done 2 interviews on the podcast this year, and one was Angela, and the other one was Island. I've kind of known for a while, and Angela just got in touch with me, and it was a lot of fun. I enjoyed that. Would you guys like to hear more interviews, or is that, or are you more into the content of the thing, or just maybe like I've been doing? I did one in January, one in February. Now I'm taking a break and trying to figure out whether it's worth tracking people down to. The reason I'm asking is because a lot of times from the show numbers, the download numbers, I can tell when something's doing pretty well or not. But since the interviews are new, it was just the same. It was just like any other episode. So there wasn't like tons more downloads, and it wasn't a drop in downloads. So I'm just not sure. So asking for a little bit of feedback about that. Okay, let's see what we got here. Josh, he says, I like the approach, and I'm just staying away from Caged. I'm afraid it will mess up the lead stuff. I already know how to connect the chords. I think that was good advice. It made sense. Yeah, Caged, stuff, it's great early on, and then as you progress, it's limiting to me. That's just my opinion. So I don't, I don't think anybody, if they don't do caged, is missing out on anything. It's a tool, just like anything else. And if it, and there's different ways of getting to playing leads, and so yeah, I don't caged. I don't sweat it. I don't sweat it at all. It could be good for some people and not for other people. And some of my students, I worked on the cage stuff mostly because they've already started and have questions about it. So, okay, so let's see here. Jolly Time 1208. Hey Lee, thanks so much. I've been playing for 10 months and I'm struggling with bar chords. Are easier to start with. Are easier to start with to break into bar chords. So bar chords, I usually start on F right here. I save that for the first one because once you can get the F, all the rest of them are easy. So, and introduce, as a lot of the people here know, as anyone who's taken the beginner course, but a lot, I really stress knowing the names of all the notes on the guitar. And it's really easy to do that. It takes about 10 minutes. You can figure out how you could close your eyes, put your finger down on the string. Within a few seconds, either coming back from the 12th fret or working your way up from the open string, you can find that note. Well, knowing your notes on the E string and the A string and getting into the bar chords really speeds things up. And especially when you're playing a lot of songs, you don't have time to really think about it. Knowing where that first finger is can really help. So the hard part is the physical playing of the bar chords at first. Once we get that, I go through all the different types of bar chords and all the different ones there. So F minor, F7, F major 7, all those kind of different ones, F minor, F minor, all those different ones. But to make it easier, most of the people that start off with the bar chords, it's really the physical playing. Is that what you're having problems with? The physical playing, or just the where to play them, how to play them around? So let's see here. Let me go up here. I think I missed some. Chris said, yeah, they were cool. I guess the interviews. JF says more interviews would be interesting. Okay. Chris says drop them in every so often. Marty, interviews are great. I'd like more. Good. Really good hearing other musicians take on learning, etc. From Chris. Brennan says, like the interviews, great addition to the content. Awesome. That helps. Thank you. I don't want to bang on a table. You bounce. I have a makeshift, one of these makeshift tables from the big box store here that I'm using to bounce all the time. So Brennan liked them. Jolly Time liked it. Fun to listen to. Good. All right. So everybody liked the interviews. So okay, I might start on. You got anybody who you think I should contact for the interviews? Let me know. I'll do it. Josh says, I like the interviews and mix of that and content is good with me. I like to hear how they learned and their approaches. Mar says, I'm not loving the caged much either. Yeah, it's not that big a deal to me. Chris is back. Welcome back, Chris. Evan is saying, cage is helping me find chord voicings easily when I'm not using it for leads. I don't think it's going to exhaust all the chord voice. No, it's not either. And some of the, you're playing a G, that's not comfortable. Playing your C's as a bar, around different places. The D1, actually, I do that a good bit. The A's and the E's, yeah, it's okay. It's not that big a deal. it's better to understand how the chords work and then go from there. And that's when things really explode and you start to you can have your own style of playing chords and chord voicings. There's enough in there for everybody where you can come up with chords that really sound different than someone else's chords. So let's see here. Sorry, I meant to ask if there's a pattern to start with. Okay. I'll ask more clearly tomorrow. No problem. No problem. Interview David Gilmour. Sure. I'll ask him. Let me write that down. David Gilmour. Sure, I bet he's got nothing to do, right? Dino, Cage has helped me see more chord shapes and patterns, but definitely not the whole picture. Yeah, I think it's really good for people in the beginning to really start to see how chord shapes move around and how scale patterns match with the chord shapes and where the arpeggio. I think it's good right there, but that's as far as it goes to me. I cannot get a clear. I cannot get a clear full C shaped chord. It's okay. Modify it to less strings. Yeah, you can. A full C shaped chord. Are you talking about in open position? Or are you talking about as a bar chord with a C shape right there? Dino, thanks so much for everything. Reminds me to add fretboard note training to the routine. Yeah, here's my favorite fretboard note training. Ready? E flat, D, F, A. You know, those kind of things, and just just overturn. Keep trying to do those things. Let's see here. Thanks, my dude. Evan says, no, but that C is great for seventh chords. Just without the bar, right? I just end up playing partial caged voicings from those anyway. Cage shapes. Yeah. David, I do the same. Yeah. I do. Yeah, I'm gonna do a whole thing. So we have all the levels, and I'm about to do all the videos. I'm gonna open the academy up to other people too, and open up some spots for the video sharing like we're doing after I get those videos up. We're still dealing with moving stuff like address changing, me calling people a lot and those things, but I'm getting there. And after that, things are going to move fast. Kind of like with the beginner course, you know, it's like nothing's happening. All of a sudden I had time open up and I just knocked it out. And for that was tough to knock out because I did all of the daily practice videos. Those took a long time. So each level has 11 or 12 classes, and each one of those gets 2 videos, a coursework, instruction, and a coursework video. And then for each one of those, I did 7 daily practice videos. So in the end, the whole thing is going to be 3-tiered. One is just all the videos of the roadmap, and then all this extra stuff that I'm doing, just being able to see the videos, and that'll be the lowest price. Then the next will be an upgrade, and at that point I will have daily practice videos for all of the levels for people who want them, who would want to upgrade to them. You don't have to do those, so that would be a little bit more. And then the highest price would be the coaching that we're all doing right there. So that's, I kind of have it, it's solid in my head how I'm going to do this. And then also, you know, later on down the road, I'm going to have special stuff, you know, so not just the roadmap. I'll have, especially for people who come in and we need to fill in some gaps. So I might have some theory things and all that too. So the academy is, I have it solid in my mind how it's going to be, and it just I need to catch a break with some time. Okay, so let's see here. If you're shooting for the moon, ask Joe Satriani. He has a new album coming out. Okay, David. Joe Satriani. Okay. Okay. Who knows, man? You know, you couldn't. I can hold a conversation. I hope a little bit. Although, you know, when you're editing podcasts, it's amazing. Sometimes I feel like it's amazing I can speak. Okay. Them's funny words, deal. Let's see here. Nice, I'll try it. I wish I could play like, yeah, okay, that's right. Okay, it's 5:08. I'm gonna go ahead and call it. Thanks everybody for hanging out with me today. I appreciate your, especially the feedback on the interviews. Interviews are a big plus, and I appreciate finding that out. It's great to see everybody. Dino, Evan, Brennan, Josh, Kevin, Chris was in there. Mike, just great seeing everybody today. And I'm going to see you tomorrow at 4 Eastern Daylight Time. That's what we're in right now. And thanks for hanging out with me. Everybody get your practicing done tonight and tell me all about it tomorrow. I'm going to do that as well. So I'll see you guys next time tomorrow. Bye-bye.